I've taken over the Proposito YouTube channel for December. Hi, I'm Jade, and I'm going to be sharing with you my journey to becoming a financial planner and everything I've learned along the way. So if you're an aspiring financial planner, or maybe you're somebody who's on your own personal growth journey, then you're in the right place. Now let's get to it. Now this video is all about failure, a word that we all despise. Now I think we can all agree that none of us like to fail anything, and that's never what we set out to do. But it is possible for everybody that could happen. And that isn't necessarily down to what you know or the preparation that you've done, although that is contributed to it. But sometimes it can be down to what's happened that day, how you're feeling. There's loads of different factors that can contribute to something not going as well as we'd hoped. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about me and what I've learned about failing. Now, when I was at school, I wasn't the most smartest person in the room. I always had to work really, really hard to get what I wanted. And I absolutely did do that. I worked so hard and I was really, really pleased that I came out of school with really good grades and I was able to proceed onto college and then onto university. I was really proud of myself and I did work really hard, but that didn't come without some things going a little bit wrong. When I started undertaking my exams in the Diploma in Regulated Financial Planning, it had been a good chunk of time before I'd undertook any exams. So naturally, I was a little bit nervous about heading back into this world of studying and learning again. But I was prepared to take the bull by the horns and really put my all into everything. As I explained in a previous video, when I went through the process and the order of the exams that I took, it wasn't until I took the fourth exam, which was Investment Principles and Risk, that I really got to know the feeling of failure once again. This exam was hard, and I did struggle to get my head around some of the areas that are required in order for you to pass the exam. But I felt like I did everything I possibly could. I knew that I'd put in all the time that I had available to me, and I worked really, really hard. And I knew that when I sat down in that exam room, I couldn't have done any more. So when I got the results through and I'd failed, I was absolutely heartbroken. I was really, really upset because I knew how much work and effort had gone into that exam, but it just didn't go my way. For the first couple of hours, I just kind of sat quite emotional because I knew that I'd have to resit this exam, and I was really, really nervous about doing that. I had some really, really good chats with my colleague Hugh around failure and around accepting failure. And I took all those thoughts home with me that night, and I really sat and I thought about everything. I thought about what went well, what didn't go well, what do I need to focus on now? And the next morning I woke up, I had a completely different mindset. I knew that I was going to sit this exam again because I will not be defeated. That's just my own personal way of living. But I knew that I had some work to do here. So I went over my whole exam syllabus. I remembered the questions that came up and I kind of was able to pinpoint where it went wrong. From that, I could focus on the bits that really needed my attention. So I spent the next 2 weeks really honing in on that and getting to grips with the bits that didn't go so well, or what I had thought didn't go so well. Then 2 weeks later, I sat the exam again. Completely different mindset, incredibly prepared like I was the first time, but because I'd experienced that failure, I went into this exam 10 times more determined than I was previously. I then passed this exam the second time round. And what failure taught me was that by getting something wrong, you are forced to look back at everything that you've done previously. If you pass an exam, you never usually look back on the exam because you don't need to. So failing actually helps you to be able to understand everything that you've just learned. Now I'm doing my chartered exams. Earlier in 2022, I sat my AF4 exam, which is the level 6 version of RO2 Investment Principles and Risk. Now I knew I was going to find this exam quite difficult because I'd found RO2 difficult, but I also really loved learning about it. I find it so interesting. I went to this exam and I knew that I couldn't have done any more. I knew that I was prepared. I knew that I'd studied for a good chunk of time and I'd given it everything I got. I sat the exam, it was a written exam, and I came out of it and I felt relatively good, but I knew there was a couple of areas in there that cropped up where I knew my understanding wasn't as strong as I would have hoped for it to be. So I did come away thinking, I'm not really sure how this is going to go. Now you have to wait an agonising 6 to 8 weeks to get your results. And when I got my results, I'd failed by 2 marks. I was absolutely gut-wrenched. 2 marks is all I needed, and I would have passed the exam. Now I did appeal in the hope that maybe something different might come out, but I was informed that my exam had already been double marked as part of a standardisation process. So I wasn't going to get any more marks, unfortunately. So I know that I will have to sit this exam again. And I really, really want to. And I know that my strategy will be so different to what it was previously because I've experienced that failure and I know what I need to do now in order to push forwards and get the pass that I feel I deserve. Now, the point of this video is that if something doesn't go well, don't give up. Don't stop what you're doing. You will learn so much from the process of failing. You only fail if you stop trying. The moment you stop and give up, then you've failed. Then you've let yourself down. But if you pick yourself up and brush yourself off and go again, you will get there. Hopefully the second time round. But if it's not the second time round, still don't give up. Don't be defeated by it. Just keep going and going until you get there. And honestly, when you get there, you will feel amazing. I promise you that. So remember, you only fail if you stop trying. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found it useful. Don't forget to like this video, and if you would like to see more videos like this, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next video.